Hello. Hello. How's everyone doing? Hmm. Apparently, I'm tired. Well, that's not really a surprise. I always have been tired. So, nothing new. How's everybody doing? What are we doing today on this fine evening? Well, uh, let me check the list. Because I actually haven't checked how many dwarves we've sold for quite a while. So I don't know what we have to do. Okay, so, fuck. We've already sold 1,412 dwarves. God damn. Okay. We almost. Shit, almost at 1,500. God damn. Okay, hold on. Let me plug in my phone. Everything's a mess. So, things we still need to do. We designed a creature. I still haven't made a list of tastiest creatures. Um, which is gonna take a bit of time. To get that set up, and okay. The reason I haven't gotten much done is because my life has been fucking consumed by trying to make an animation. And because I wanted, okay, I'm making a video about witches, right? And I wanted something good to present the witches with. So I thought, oh, let's make another animatic, like the same as the first like witch hunting videos. And so I tried to do that. I ain't gonna finish it because Jesus. Yeah, let's go with a question mark. No, it has not gone. We have not let's goed. It has failed. I've been working away at it for a few days. Incredibly slow process. Like seriously, it is not like a whoa, how much did you get done? Like don't give up now. No, it's for the amount of time I spent on it, it is sad. It is incredibly sad how much I got done. And I'm done. I ain't doing it anymore. I'm gonna go back to doing like a normal just Monster Garden video presenting the witches. Cause yeah, I'm so here's the plan. I just recorded a voiceover for a script to give people on YouTube an update on what I've been doing, basically showing them the animation in its work in progress state, which is absolute garbage. Um, but just to tell you that it's not going anywhere. I tried, but it didn't work out, and that I'm gonna be working on something else uh, instead. Never back down, never what? No, no, I have given up. Sadly, I work in a very specific way, which is I genuinely can't force myself to do things uh, if I don't enjoy them. So I've given up on it. So that's just the end of it. I'm not gonna like force myself to finish it because the whole point of this is for me to enjoy it. So if I don't enjoy it, what's the point? At least I give it a call a try. True, true. Buy an animator. Here, yeah, okay. So the I was also thinking from the money that I get from the dwarf figures, I could maybe like pay an animator or animators the autism. I don't know if it's part of autism or if I have it or not. I've never been diagnosed with anything. But I could pay animators to do it instead. But the problem with that is I I have a very specific look that I want to go for with the animation. Like it's not uh supposed to be clean. It's supposed to be like rough, sketchy looking, uh not only to make it faster to draw, but also because I just like that feeling more. I don't like clean lines in and stuff. Focusing more on the mood and the feeling of the movement instead of the accuracy. When do the dwarves go off sale? On the 15th this month. Nah, bro. What do you mean, nah, bro? You don't know whether or not they can catch the monster. Okay. I'm very critical of everything. Like, I don't like things not being in my control, right? So that's mainly the reason why I haven't worked with anybody else on the project yet, why I haven't allowed anybody else to draw anything for me yet, or why I haven't allowed anybody else to voice act anything for me yet, is because I'm incredibly critical of the things that I make, you know? And that's not faulting or that's not a problem with the people that ask to work with me. Like, they're good voice actors. They most likely do great fucking voices. But I'm incredibly critical of myself when I do voices, and I worry that's gonna affect my ability to work with other people. You know, I do like 20 to 30 takes for every video, even though it might seem like, oh, these don't sound that good in the end. That's the best I could do with 20 or 30 takes. I absolutely hate doing voiceovers because it's never what I want. Yeah? And I'm worried that's gonna carry over when I work with other people, and especially if I hire them to make an animation. Like, fuck. That's gonna be even worse. I guess I could do, like, keyframes and then have them do in-betweens. Why is the stranger only disappointed? Well, it's because I'm disappointed in myself. But yeah, here, look. I'm gonna show you what I got. 30 takes doesn't seem like that much. Well, fair enough. To you, it might not seem like that much. To me, that is quite a lot. Yeah. Okay. The quality of everything is great, so nobody complaining. Well, yeah, I'm complaining. That's the thing. The reason the videos are good is because I am like this. No, it's mediocritism. It's not perfectionism. I'm not trying to strive for, well, I am trying to strive for perfection, but I know that it's not perfect. Mediocre at best. No AI. No. No, I don't want to use AI. That just loses the point of it. You know, like I still want to create it. It's not like I want to have my hands off of it as soon as possible and not touch it. Um, I want to be the one who makes it. But here, look, I'll show you. Yeah, because it's gonna be in a video anyway, so it doesn't matter. Um, I'll show you the animation. So basically, what I was thinking was it was gonna be an animatic, right? It was gonna be an animatic that follows Jakob and his witch hunting party, and them preparing to hunt the insect witch. Uh, and it was all going to, you know, escalate, and then the plan will fall apart and then culminate in Jakob confronting or having to confront the insect witch with like a really short animation of it just like crawling out of a hallway just to, you know, introduce witches, right? Because I know how important witches are to the world, right? And how people have sort of been eager to know what the fuck they are, right? So I thought like something proper to introduce them would make sense, but I've given up. I can't fucking do it. So the only animated section was going to be the confrontation, and the rest of it was going to be animatic, right? So less frames, focusing more on just narration, and then this one was going to be the animated section. But I've just done a little bit, and holy shit, does it suck? It's not gonna be finished, by the way. If I've gotten your senses tingling or whatever, I'm sorry that it's never gonna be done because I've already given up on it. But here, so it was going to start with Jakob barging into the abandoned hut that the witch was hiding out in, right? So this is the abandoned hut. That's Jakob's hand. And then, well, hold on. Let me play it once first, then I guess, and then I'll explain it. See, that's it. That's all I fucking have. That is all I have. There's nothing more. That's it. So it was going to be a scene of Jakob barging into the house, like creaking open the door and holding up his rifle, and then seeing this moth in the distance in like the darkness of the hallway without seeing the body. And then like there's a moment of them just staring each other down, him holding the rifle, exhausted from running through the forest and breathing heavy, his rifle shaking, and the moth in the darkness just fluttering slowly, you know, their wings sort of like beating back and forth very gently. And then the eyes on the wings blink, and the thing, you know, does the fucking crawl forward. But so it isn't in this pace. So there'd be a lot more in between this. So I have the door opening, right? Then okay, here's all the things I'm missing. I'm gonna run it down. This is why animation fucking sucks. Or why I hate doing it. Because there's so much you have to do. Okay, door opens, right? Then the scene was going to start, because this is a very tall image, so it was going to start with the bottom half first, and then slowly pan up, because there's the sunset, or the sunrise in the background, silhouetting Jakob onto the floor. So you can see Jakob's shadow. Hold on. Here, you can see Jakob's shadow on the floor. So that means it's the animation of him opening the door, then it has to match the shadow on the door, right? So his shadow on the floor has to also go through those motions. And then the light in the room, like the light level, also has to change depending on how wide the door is open. Then I was going to have bugs scuttling away from the light, because you know, the light will shine in and all the bugs go, and they scuttle into the darkness, right? Away. And then the camera would slowly pan up as he sort of switches hands and like holds his rifle properly. And the camera finally pans up to reveal the moth in the darkness, and him sort of like having to look at it and be like, what the fuck is that? You know, and then the stare down happens in between here, right? So him breathing and the rifle shaking and stuff, and the moth moving. And then eventually it charges, right? It finally charges, and he also needs to have the expression of like, oh shit. So it's from his POV, obviously. So I'd have to have him sort of like reel back and like quickly try to pull up the gun, and shoot the thing. But the shot wasn't going to be in the scene, so it's literally going to cut here. So it was going to cut here with the creature lunging forward, right? Fucking FNAF jump scare style, and him pulling up the rifle, and then it was going to cut to a scene of like forest, so tops of trees, and then the sound of a gunshot like far in the distance echoing, and then birds fluttering away, you know? So you don't see the shot, you just hear it, and then he starts narrating the aftermath of what happens. Because that was the easiest way I thought I could do it. But, fuck. The shadow needn't match exactly. I know, nothing needs to match exactly. I mean, if you zoom in, look at those aren't legs. Those are just squiggly lines. None of this makes sense. I know that nothing has to be perfect, but just the the process of animating takes so much brain power. You know, this is the first time I've tried to animate something. This dude, this thing, like walking forward like this. This is the first time I've tried to like animate something frame by frame, moving, you know? And it's a fucking nightmare. God damn, I hate it. I absolutely hated this. This took... by the way, this is not like, oh, this animation took me 4 days. Like, the 4 days that I was gone, this is what I've been doing and toiling away. No, 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 no. I drew this in, like, an hour. The animation... This fucker, like, crawling forward took an hour of actual drawing time. But what took long was me just weeping in my chair, being like, oh, how the fuck do I do this? You know? Like, that's the hard part. It isn't drawing it. If I knew exactly how to draw it and animate things, I don't think it would take that long. But I fucking suck at animating. So of course it takes ages. And it's not like, you know, if I render a drawing, for example, if it's nothing like trying to render a concept art drawing, for example, because when I go through the thinking process of designing a concept, that's fun for me, and then after that I just render and I can shut my brain off because I know how to render, right? I'm used to it now. But this is like constant brain usage, which just makes me want to hang myself. You know, it's awful. Thug it out for the fan. I can't thug it out. I'm sorry. I am too weak and too much of a wimp to do it. I'll admit it here. It's not like, oh, this is impossible. I'm sorry I couldn't do this impossible thing. No, this is very possible. I'm just a wuss. I'm just weak mentally. You know, that's just me admitting it. I just suck at forcing myself to do things that I hate. And this is a thing I hate. One part animating, 3 parts. Still sick as fuck, but I understand. Yeah. So I'm gonna make a video covering this, right? I'm gonna be like, dudes, I tried, but it didn't work out. Okay? I gave it a try, but it didn't work out. But that's how it is, you know? And we're just gonna have, sadly, or I don't know if you... We're just gonna have to have a video that just... No, I'm not apologizing. It's not an apology. I'm just stating it. I'm just saying, yeah, I tried doing this, but I couldn't. That's it. It's not an apology. That's life. Yeah, that's life. But yeah, we're just gonna have a video drawing a witch and then talking about witches and stuff like that, like we normally do. You're too hard on yourself. No, you don't. This is not the issue. Isn't, oh, this, I think this sucks, and so I don't want to continue it. No, the issue isn't that. I don't like doing this. When I was thinking of the idea, I was like, dude, this would be so cool, you know? That's what happens every time, is like, God, this would be awesome. Animating that, and then an animatic, and I thought of all the shots. I drew up, there's storyboards for all of this, right? In my sketchbooks of all the scenes and stuff like that. But as soon as I sit down, I realize, and I'm like, oh, right, I gotta draw these. You know, like, oh, that's the actual, like, you can't just look into my brain. I actually have to draw out each of those frames for you to be able to see what I'm thinking of. And then it goes, and I just crumple into dust. Brain went smooth. No, brain didn't went smooth. Brain has been smooth. Did you think about asking someone for help? I already explained why that is a hard thing for me to do. I'm considering it now. Like, I maybe in the video, if I record it, I might ask people like, hey, if you think you're good at animating or something like that, maybe we can have a talk and see about what we can do. but I might rip their head off trying to. I don't know. I don't know how I will react to working with other people. I have no issue working with other people if it's on their projects. No problem with that. But working with other people on my project might be problem. Sketching. Oh yeah, easy. Make a move. Yeah, because this is basically the level of detail that I need. I don't need much. Like these hands are fucking. Hold on, let me just keep playing it so you can just look at it while I explain it. I don't care about clean lines. I don't care about color. Like I don't even want color. I just want rough, sketchy, focusing on the feeling of something. Um, that's it. You know, because I feel like that's the most important part. Is not the cleanliness of something. It's the mood and the emotion and stuff like that. You might what? I said rip their head off. You're animating? Yes, well, I animated, and now I'm retired from it. I started, and I'm done. I think stop motion animation would teach you patience. Well, thank you, I guess. Well, you know what would happen? I would try doing stop motion animation, and then I'll stop because I can't force myself to do things I don't enjoy. And that's it. So it'll just be the same thing. Like, how would that teach me? Have you tried hiring volcanic snails to animate it? God damn it. Creature tier list when? I'm gonna do it after I finish this next video because then I finally have this off my ass and I can move on to other things. Simon might just die on the spot. Well, okay. I tried it once actually. Like when I was a kid, I tried claymation. Um, I tried claymation once because I was exposed to those horror claymations on YouTube way too early in life. Um, I don't know if anybody else knows those, but yeah, there were a bunch of like just horror animations on YouTube, claymation animations. And I saw those, and I wanted to make my own animations out of clay, and I tried. I didn't finish them, obviously. Would you ever produce sculptures of some of your different things? Um, Different from the dwarves, more like statues and statuettes. Statues and statuettes. I'm thinking about. Oops. I'm thinking about making 3D models available of like a lot of the designs in the world just to be used in tabletop or whatever you like. So here's the plan. Here's the plan. Literally, the dwarf figures, the money from the dwarf figures, I'm just gonna spend on improving shit for the channel because that's literally like that's all I got. Like I don't have any other things that I want to buy in life really, because I'm just like that. You know, I got my tablet. I buy the same tablet again as a backup. I'll buy things when they eventually disintegrate and break, but before that, I don't want anything better than it. So I'm pretty much done besides buying food, you know? So all the money just is gonna go into the things I like, and funnily enough, the thing I like is the fucking channel. So of course, that's all I'm gonna spend money on. So it's just gonna be spent on making 3D models, and I'm just gonna throw those out, and you can just have them for free. Anybody can use them. I'll make music, and then just throw that out for free, so anybody can use it. Because music, especially, by the way, I love like music, and I feel like for YouTube videos and shit like that, there's too much. There's not enough royalty-free music, Dan. Like there is not enough royalty-free music. I'm sick of hearing the same fucking songs every time I listen to videos, so why not just pay people to make more and then make it royalty free? There you go, done. You know, why is your number in Thai? What? Because I'm Thai. Shirtless stranger figure win. Yeah. Do you ever hear from your laptop? Feed me same Seymour? What? Are you gonna make music with a hurdy-gurdy? I mean, a hurdy-gurdy would be fun. I'd have to find somebody that has a hurdy-gurdy though. I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to like get like. Well, maybe. I don't know. There's probably like a plugin for that on music making websites. But like, oh, maybe the dude, the you know the witch hunting song I have on the YouTube channel. It's one of the songs. They're already royalty free. The witch hunting song was by a guy who had like a bunch of instruments that he played. Oh, also hello Amanza. Um, he has like a bunch of instruments that he can play. Maybe he has a hurdy gurdy. I might want to hit him up again. Hire him for another one if he has one. But yeah, so like right, I went off on a tangent. Yes, we will have figures or printable like 3D models for you to use, but it wouldn't be like statues. It would more be like miniatures. I feel like that would just be more useful because I'm guessing most likely if anybody wants them, it'd be for tabletop use. So just to have some miniatures and stuff like that to hack up or use or do whatever with seems fun. If you what if I make something, where can I send it to you? In the Discord and at me. FL Studios is pretty good for making music. Ooh, I'll look into that. You making an animation? No, I've scrapped the animation. This is not getting finished at all. I'm just showing it because I've given up on it. What are we drawing today? Well, the first thing we were going to draw, right, I completely forgot about that. So the tier list of tastiest creatures have to wait first. So what we need to do now is actually draw a dwarf on stream. Actually, we have to draw 3 dwarves on stream. I I was already thinking of drawing Senshi from Dungeon Meshi cooking one of my dwarves. So that was gonna be 2. So 2 birds with 1 stone, right? Or whatever. I don't even know if that's setting or saying fits. Uh, but yeah, Senshi is a dwarf, obviously, and then cooking one of my dwarves, that's 2. But then I don't know what I wanted to do for the third. We'll take suggestions for that one, but no, I want to eat the dwarf. Well, he's cooking it for you, okay? Do you have any interest in Thai culture? A lot of interest in Thai culture, yes. I love it. Honestly, when I was a kid, I didn't really care about it, you know? I was sort of just looking at it very bluntly and being like, yeah, it's fuck ton of temples, and that's about it. I mean, it's not wrong. There are fuck ton of temples, and that's about it. But I like as I've grown as an artist, um, as I've grown as an artist, I I've started looking at Thai art a lot more to be like, damn, I need to like utilize this shit. You know, this has so much potential. I mean, that's literally the aesthetic for Varus and the Pillars. They're all Thai inspired, or Thai and some other cultures I want to mix in together, but mainly Thai. Um, because I just, I don't see it much outside of Thailand, surprisingly enough. I see a lot of like artists take inspiration from Indian uh stuff and then or Japanese stuff or Chinese stuff, but not much Thai. So I'm like, damn, that's a really untapped niche, because like tie patterns are fucking sick. Tie patterns are really good. If you use Krita for animation, make your background separate, as the program would grind to a halt, compiling everything into the video editor. It will save you a lot of pain. Thank you. I didn't know that, actually. It's good to know. I'll do that eventually in the next decade or billions of years when I maybe eventually come back to trying to animate. But yeah, that's that for now. How much interest do you have in German culture? I don't know. Not much, really. Or not like saying, "Oh, I don't care about it." I mean, like I just haven't looked into it. I haven't looked into it yet. Uh, like old German stuff, wouldn't that just be like medieval stuff, right? What's that? Oh, this is the creature we designed last stream. It's called the dust hog, which is a weird mammal slug that digs through earth with disintegration magic. No, no, okay, don't get me wrong when it's like, ooh, I like, it's I do the cultures because I want to represent the no, I find the patterns cool. Like that's it. It doesn't go deeper than that, you know? So I'm not trying to like represent niche or cultures that I think are supposed to be represented more or try to say anything with it. No, if I find something that looks cool, I'll use it, and that's it. That's as deep as it goes. So it's not like a oh, you should try showing more of German culture. And it's like no, no. I if they got some cool patterns or whatever, then I'll use it. That's about it. Same with Thai. I mean, I just use the patterns they got. White looks sad because it is. That's his nostrils, by the way. That's the mouth. Sort of got a manta ray kind of looking underside. Sees pretty patterns. No, because I don't know. I don't think it's necessary to look deeper into shit like that. Like if it's like a pretty nice thing and you want to pop it into your world, I'll just fucking do it. That's it. I don't try to think about it too much and be like, God, it's real world correlation with the universe and other cultures, blah blah blah. That means you're trying to say blah 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 by using these. No, what I'm trying to say by using these patterns is, ooh, look, cool patterns. That's it. That's as deep as it goes. Does he have a Tauri? No, surprisingly not. He will excrete all of his Tari goodness out of his bum. Or does he have a Tauri? I'll have to think about that, actually. Not sure. Change my answer. I think you'd like Speculative Evolution Project. Yes, yes, I do like them. There's one really good one on YouTube that I forgot the name of, but most of you, if you're interested in those, would probably know him. The dude who made a planet like from the get start and then like started evolving creatures in the ocean and then made them go to land and then kept iterating on them and stuff like that. That one's really cool. What's with the nasty toenails? Oh, you mean these ones? You mean these toenails? These ones? Mmm. Mmm. Well, those are because I wanted to use them as reference for the front toenail that comes out of its face that it uses as an output to dig earth. Simon, I'm hungry. Yeah, I'm hungry too, because these look like pork rinds. Mmm, yum yum. Pork rinds. Hey, I was eating. Well, that's not my responsibility, is it? I don't have enough text. What's going on? What the zoom is like a jump scare? Is that a tone? Yeah, these are actually my toes. These are mine. All the rest are from the internet, but these ones specifically are just my toes. So you're welcome. Enjoy those. Anyway, so let's clear the canvas for now, and do the dwarf drawings first, and then what do we do after? Oh, right, we also hit the big one, the 1,000 dwarf sold goal, obviously, which is making 3D models of the ramen verse sold. Okay, the thing is, I wrote these down on the stretch goals because I needed something to write down on the stretch goals, but no matter how many I sold, I was gonna make fucking 3D models of anything I could anyway. So that's all gonna happen anyway. But I needed stretch goals. Okay, let's see. Right. Let me look up some reference of Senshi. Look at this beautiful boy. Oh, get the animation bar out of here. Look at him. Beautiful. Scammed. Indeed, I've scammed you. You thought the money was going to charity. No! I'm buying myself a Bugatti. And then that's pretty much it. I just need a reference of Senshi because I know what my own dwarf looks like. So I guess that's it. Um, let's see. So, what kind of? I think it was genius. Somebody once made it so the head of the dwarf was turned into a pan. So I feel like that's genius, and I need to do that. So the head is the pan, right? And then he's like stir frying dwarf bits, I'm thinking. So how do I show that it's dwarf bits? Do we just have whole fucking hands in the soup? Right, hold on. I should draw it like roughly first. Jesus Christ. I'll fix his face in a bit. Right now he's looking a little distressed, but he'll be fine. Why is he a cannibal? No, it's not cannibalism. They're both called dwarves, but that doesn't mean they're like anywhere near to the same species, alright? Why is he standing all goofy like that? I can't draw today. What the fuck? What's wrong with him? Why does he look like that? He's about to commit. It's not cannibalism. It isn't. They just share the same name. Have you read the story in the fan art channel of the Discord? No, actually not. Hold on. If it's that good, I mean, I gotta check it out. Hold on. Let me see. What have I missed? There's no story. Did I miss it? Oh, this one? How dwarves say... This is a 1,400 word story I wrote? What the fuck? Content warning for sex violence and mention of... What the fuck? No! I'm not... I'll read that after the stream. I was gonna be like, oh yeah, we could read it on stream if it's a fun short story. Contents may include sex, violence, and mention of FNAF. What the fuck? How Simon's dwarf saved my life. Read it to us. Oh god. Okay. Look, I'll read it, but it's gonna stop immediately if anything horrible happens, okay? I'm pausing it immediately. Also, I'm terrible at reading out loud, so just forgive me. This is gonna take a lot of effort. It's even harder when I read not my own writing, you know, because it's not the same speech patterns that I have. But I'll try. Okay. This is How Simon's Dwarves Saved My Life, or A Night of Blood by the Old Creek by Breaded Hamster. Thank you, Breaded Hamster. It was a humid... Already fucked it up. It was a humid morning on the Florida... What the... Huh? The Florida highway. As I was driving, my phone got a notification about a scale at Winn-Dixie? A sale at Winn-Dixie. Fuck. See, I told you. I was annoyed at... Oh, God. I was annoyed at such things. I lived too far away from Winn-Dixie for the savings to ever make up for the cost of gas to get there. My irritation at the contradictory nature of such a system proved to be a danger to me. As I turned to go down an old dirt road, my temporary loss of focus meant a slow, grinding collision with another vehicle. Oh no, I thought. This car isn't insured. While I'm driving it, it's not even my car. I hopped out to see the damage, revealing it was only superficial on either end. But as the other driver exited his truck, I knew the consequences would be beyond the laws of man. What? He was the kind of guy who would use his actual face as his Facebook profile picture. You know the type. Bald, with a head sharp like a thumb, and his neck was dense with a lifetime of supporting the weight of the cinder block where his brain should have been. What the fuck? Okay. Life of like if like uh like if Hank from Breaking Bad was too stupid to ever become a DEA agent, which is a feat mind which is a feat, mind you, since drugs are winning the war on drugs. What? Since drugs are winning the war on drugs? Mall cop Hank is what he looked like. What is this? I don't understand. When does I could immediately tell something was wrong when he pulled out a knife. Yet, usually guys like this begin recording with their phone or reach for the gender affirming pistol they keep in the ankle holster. Those always seemed cool in principle, but then the son of a bitch always wears cargo shorts or sandals with socks, and it just looks lame as hell. Okay, what is this about? I've only ever seen it work with what Riza Hawkeye? Who the in Full Metal Alchemist. I've never watched it. You know that one scene where she shoots that serial killer whose soul is bound to a suit of armor? This is what is this? But here I had no what? But here I had no autistic coded tomboy girlfriend to save me from a knife wielding maniac? But what was scarier than the concept of a woman having power over me was when he forced me into the back seat of his truck. Okay, we're done. That's enough. You can. I don't know where that story was going, but that's enough. We've had enough. Is this? I don't know. I don't feel it is because there's just so many references to different things like tangents. No, keep going. No, forcing big thumb, like big bald guy with thumb for a head that looks like Hank from Breaking Bad, forcing the protagonist into the back of his truck with a knife after he got into an accident is not. We're not going to continue that. That is obviously a sign of bad things to come. Keep going. Okay, fine. Hold on. I closed out already, so I gotta go back in. Okay. He forced me into the back seat of his truck. You could tell he didn't need it for work because there were no tools or anything in the flatbed. So not only was he a kidnapper, he was a suburban guy, LARPing as a rural one. As we drove on, I thought of what I could do to escape, but it was one of those trucks where you have to flip one of the front seats down in order to access the back seat. And that's stupid. Awkward design was not now the bar to my cage. For hours we drove in the backwoods. The palmetto? What is palmetto? The palmetto bushes pacing us by like complacent witnesses to the crime about to occur. Pacing us? Oh, pacing us by like complacent witnesses to the crime about to occur. Their spiky leaves waving out as if to say goodbye. How we personalize such elements of nature, I believe, is simply man's juvenile assumptions that there is some extra natural force extra natural force adoring him past the threshold of his perceptions. Is this canon? I don't know what this is yet. The dude just got kidnapped by a dude he crashed into with his car. who looked like Hank from Breaking Bad, big thumb head, and now he's in the back of the truck. It is an ultimate act of hubris, of ego, a merciful delusion that he is loved not by individuals, but by forces beyond his understanding or control that would logically be indifferent or outright malicious to his being. For what is God if what? For, for what is God if not man's belief that the world loves him as it endlessly gnaws on his flesh and spirit? What is the flesh if not the medium of suffering? I see our bodies to be both the prison and the warden. But that's enough about my desire to become a purely abstract creature. Mall Cop Hank. Yes, Mall Cop Hank kidnapped our protagonist. I thought my salvation arrived when he rounded a sharp corner and clipped another truck. My kidnapper extended his what? Kidnapper excited his vehicle? Huh? Exited. Well, okay. Reading, right. My kid never excited his vehicle. I fucking... Jesus Christ. People like that exist. I mean, so I didn't know if that was gonna be like a literal part of the story. You know, that exists. People that are, yeah, into that. My kidnapper exited his vehicle, knife in hand, only to realize he was outnumbered as two men exited the other truck, blades in their hands as well. Why does everybody have fucking knives? They were similar. They were similar to each other, probably brothers, except the older one had obviously vampired the nutrients from their mother's womb and left nothing for his sibling after. I then found myself in a new truck with new kidnappers. My former kidnapper finding himself a hostage alongside me. I thought about the odds of such things, and I determined that the cruel, indifferent universe was only cruel. It grew dark, and I asked the duo what they were planning to do with us. They spoke of the creek where nobody would ever find us, how the fish and the gators would take care of the remains. Jesus. When we arrived at the rocky shored creek, they marched us out at knife point, and that's when I saw it. Oh, saw it? What it? I pointed out how one of the rocks kind of looked like the dwarf that Simon had made. Okay, so I exist in this world. Like I exist in this world, and the Monster Garden exists in this world as a YouTube channel, I guess. They asked what I was talking about. Curious, I explained how the design is quite original while still having features recognizable in the dwarf archetype. I offered to show them his YouTube channel on my phone, and the three of them watched one of those long-ass streams while I slinked away. I never understood the appeal of watching streams. They feel parasocial, and I always prefer pre-recorded content, but it saved my life that day. I walked in the dark woods for what felt like ages, and luckily crossed paths with a forest ranger. For those that don't know, they're like cops, but instead of being a poor replacement for social workers, they keep people from littering in the woods and stop rural folk from having sex with animals. He looked like Don Knotts. I don't know who that is either. He looked like Don Knotts if he were somehow more bug-eyed, and at first I had mistaken him for some insect man and prepared to run away. I told him of the kidnappers and how he should probably shoot them. Then they erupted from the bush. My former kidnappers and the more recent brothers. They had formed an alliance to prevent my escape, and with knives in hand they mocked me. The ranger, unfortunately, had the nervous nature of the character Don Knotts had played on the Steve Allen Plymouth show. He was frozen stiff, much like the deer he was tasked with saving from the sexual advances of bored hillbillies. I can't fucking do this. The three kidnappers then made a great the three kidnappers then made a great mistake. They slandered Simon's dwarves. They called them weird and silly. Why not just have normal dwarves? They said. The Philistines? What, the Philistines? Philistines? The fuck? What is that? The Philistines, I thought. I don't know what that means. They lack imagination. They do not understand the beauty of filtering a cherished classic through the lens of a more gritty setting. Then they smeared the concept of live streams, and while I agree with that, I could not let Simon's dwarves go unavenged. I swiped the ranger's pistol, emptied the clip into the kidnappers until all three of them were lifeless on the ground. What have I done? I asked myself. I had taken these men's lives not in defense of my own, but of righteous anger born from the sea of mediocrity I find myself standing in. I could have simply scared them away, but I killed them for their bad taste. A bear then emerged from the thickest... No, a bear then emerged from the thicket and began to feast on their bodies. Fair enough. Bear? Dead people. What does that remind me of? Peering into the pooling blood, I saw my own reflection, and it was Freddy Fazbear. Oh, God, fucking damn it. Okay. Bears? Dead people? What does that remind me of? Peering into the pool of blood, I saw my own reflection, and it was Freddy Fazbear. I awoke in a cold sweat, grateful it was simply a dream, and that there weren't actually people who disliked Simon's dwarves. Had also awoken with a and that's where we'll end it. I can't. No. Kann nicht mehr. Ich kann also nicht mehr. I also awoke, and you can fill in the rest. No. Well, I guess this stream is not gonna get monetized. Jesus Christ. I'm gonna delete the stream afterward. Fucking hell. Grateful it was simply a dream, and that there weren't actually people who disliked Simon's dwarves. I had also awoken with a massive erection. I mean, an almost unhealthy fat chub. The kind of shit you'd see on one of those bad medical shows on a TV network Oprah used for money laundering. Money... It always happens when anything related to Five Nights at Freddy was brought up as my only experience with the arise what with the series was the disturbing amount of FNAF porn I consumed on a daily basis. Oh god. The games themselves look boring, and the lore surrounding it is unsufferably convoluted for what the actual gameplay is. I could not soften it through masturbation. So I smacked my engorged member with one of Simon's dwarf's fingers until it went limp. It was like beating a fish to death after it has been snatched from the water. As high quality as the figures are, they cannot solve whatever is wrong with my prostate. I wanna. I'm done. That's it. That's the end of the story. That is the end of it. What? Oh, Lope, thank you for the 100 baht super chat. Here, thank you for stopping. Well, I'm sorry I didn't see that in time. We have finished it. $5, say it. Thank you. Xenomorph. I mean, I said it anyway. I didn't see the donation, but thank you. I regret reading that. That was terrible. I mean, I read it terrible, but my god. Yeah, breaded hamster. Your days are numbered. What have you done? Jesus Christ. Make more. I mean, don't make more. What? The story overall is fine, but the ending is cursed. For that reason, it was removed from writing. Wait, it was removed from the writing chat because it was too much. I understand why some people hate fanfiction now. I mean, it depends on the fanfiction, I guess. I didn't know. I've never read fanfiction before, so I don't know if that's the normal. Like, is that normally how fanfiction goes? Honestly, better than anything Simon ever wrote. True. I mean, it was masterfully written to the point where I could barely even read it, so it's really good. Not like saying it was badly written so I can't read it. No, it was well written and I couldn't read it because I'm just bad at reading. First Monster Garden stream I watched. Awesome. Oh, welcome to the Monster Garden. Or welcome to the streams, I guess. Glad to have you here, and I am sorry. Simon, delete the stream and start a new one now. No, I'll delete it afterwards or something, I don't know. But yeah, let's continue with what we are gonna do. We're gonna. I feel like it can't be a pan because you just don't really. It doesn't. I feel like a better idea would be to have him like skewered on a fucking fire like this so we can see like the whole dwarf, you know? Oh, I can't. Yeah, I can't draw Senchi sitting like that because he has fucking. That's gonna be fan service, isn't it? Because he has the undies. He got the skirt. I'm crossing his legs. Or I guess I could have one leg. come across like this. Is the dwarf skin edible? I doubt it. I don't think it is. Be very unpleasant, for sure. He looks so distraught. Here you go. Let's have a gentle flame under the dwarf. Beautiful. There you go. I think that's better. Okay, now let's actually render it out. Monster Garden fanfiction before GTA. I mean, isn't it coming out? Didn't a trailer drop or something? I completely forgot. Right? When did that come out? Or did it say when the game was gonna come out? Let me see them feet. What does his feet look like? He's got okay. Here we go. Do you think Laios would love all of your monsters? I don't know. Um I think he'd be curious about the taste of some of them. I'm not sure if he'd like all of them, but some of them for sure. The giant railgun lobster, I feel like he'd go quite nuts over. I think he'd be really interested in that one. Also, just like I feel like he'd have a pretty good guess of what the taste would be like even before trying it, but he'd still want to try it. He'd love the lobster. Oh yeah, he'd absolutely love the lobster. And then the dwarves would definitely be the same situation as like the mermaids or sirens. Like it's a little too close to humans, but he'd still be like, I mean, we could try it. Wait, which side is the? what's his dumb face look like? Wait, there's a lot more of his face visible than I keep forgetting that he has a face. Or like a visible enough face. Like you don't see his eyebrows, but you do see his eyes. And his schnoz. I think it's fine that he just has a 1,000-yard stare. I think it fits with the idea of eating dwarves. He's just, you know, I feel like my headcanon of this is that it was a necessary thing to do. Like, he's starving. They've been stuck out for like a few days now, and madness has set upon the group. They befriended a dwarf on the way, but then finally it had to come to this, you know? It was either gonna be the dwarf or him, and Senshi had to keep going. You had to keep going. Also, I know the beard would singe off of the fire and it would reveal what's underneath, but the whole joke of dwarves is you don't know what the fuck their mouth looks like, so the beard's gonna be fireproof now. Just for that. You'll never find out what's under the beard. Why would he kill innocent dwarves? It had to be done. Zwergdöner? I haven't. Oh, Duna. I haven't had a Duna in so long. That's something I completely forgot about until you just mentioned it. What are your plans for elves? I have no idea. Simon, what happened? Nothing. Nothing happened. Beautiful. Beautiful. Today I can't draw for the life of me for some reason. Lines aren't coming out the right way, but at least I got this done. And okay, here, fine. Look. There's a little bit of the stuff peeking through. But that's all you're getting. That's all you're getting. Such a tease, honestly. Senshi, I mean, he knows what he's doing, obviously, but leaving us desperate and craving for more. Make it an animation. No, God, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Not animations, please. Do the tier list. The issue with that is I'm gonna have to scrounge through a lot of a lot of drawings to do that. Draw 6 stranger emotes, uses 1. No, hear me out. Those are for videos. I'm gonna use those in videos to, like, use it over me talking so I can have reactions like, Saber Spark or, Subjectively has. You know? So they will be used, don't worry. It's just that I decided to put the image of pain in the corner. But yeah, hold on. Let me check. Where are all the creatures? Actually, shit. I got a whole folder of them. So it won't be that hard. Never mind, actually. This might be quite easy. Besides a few. Huh. Is there a place to make a tier? Well, actually, hold on. Let me just, make a tier list here. I can just make my own tier list, right? So that doesn't have to be good. Doesn't have to look that good. Okay, what's the tiers? What are we? Are we going from like hold on. I'm gonna say we do. Look. We got S, right? S has got to be. This is on taste, right? Rate of fanfictions, no. Taste. Then we got A, B, C. No, do I use C? Am I gonna use C? I'm just gonna skip to D, and then F. There you go. Is that good? S tier is gourmand, yeah. S tier is edible. Sad day for C fans. I don't know, I just can't think of anything that's C. You know, like, B is clear because B is like, yeah, it's like not making it to A. You know, A is good, right? A is good. B is alright. D is like if I have to. F is shit, right? So the C is like weird because you'd think like C is like alright, but B is already alright. So it's just an unnecessary letter. Fucking cut C out. Fuck C. Okay, so I don't think it's gonna be too hard to find these actually, but okay, so let me explain it first. We're gonna do a tier list of tastiness, of creatures within the monster garden, right? But these are not 1984. Fuck off. These are not just creatures in the monster garden. They are, or well, how the fuck do I put this? At the current moment, the monster garden has 2 creatures in it, right? Or like a few. It has the warboar, it has the dust hog, it has the slag shell, and the cannonball snail. It also got the leeches in the trenches and the healing bugs, right? But F is for poison. Hold on, let's do F is just shit. But then there is a F plus. Wait, is F plus worse than F? What would F plus be? Deaf? I'll just write poison. So just literally inedible. Like, this is not food. You can't eat these. Okay, so that's just a tier reserved for inedible creatures. You know, so what we're doing instead is we're not just rating creatures that we currently have in the Monster Garden, but we are rating creatures from the whole years of Monster Garden creation, because the Monster Garden originally was a monster designing world, and then it slowly turned into getting overwhelmed by the war and stuff, so that became the main focus. But the origins was to create creatures. So I have creatures, but they're just not in the world anymore. But we're still going to be covering them. So let me just go down the list, I guess. First, let's start with the trio of crabs. So there was an obsession with crabs back in the day when we designed creatures. And we have 3 types of crabs. This is a giant elemental crab that was called, its name was Ardentum ignis. I don't remember what the hell it meant, but this was a creature we used to have. It was a resident of underground volcanoes and caverns and stuff like that, and it would feed off of the heat of these volcanoes and sort of grow this this rocky stone shell. If you look at it, I'm gonna say this is going straight into poison. No S. Look at it. It's not made out of materials that are even edible. That's stone, rock, and lava. Cinnamon. No. Look at the fucking thing. This is poison. Or like inedible. We're going straight into poison. This one's inedible. Right off the bat. First one. Okay. Then we got the next crab. Which is called Ardentum mortem. And it's sort of the same idea. These were supposed to be like offshoots of the same species. This one instead hides in a location that was called the way back when the Monster Garden was in its early days. We had a location called the Catacombs, which was basically an underground, not infinite, but like very vast just catacomb, you know? And so these things would hide and dig their way under graves to eat the corpses and stuff like that. So it had like gravestones and stuff on its back. And it also had flamethrower claws. I mean, you can see I got some I've used some of the same ideas again with like the slag shell that we have. So this one's got like railgun claws as well. As you might be able to tell by its look, this thing's rotten. This thing is dead. Or not dead. I don't think it's dead, but it's very much not healthy looking. It's got maggots growing out of its skin. It's green. It's got green fumes coming off of it. Poison. Again, I don't think this thing's edible. D at least? No, not D. Not D. Maybe, okay. Maybe like the legs right here. Like these parts might be safe, but everything else, no. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me do this first before we continue. Let's try to make out sort of what I'm trying to rate these things by. I'm not just thinking about the tastiness. I think that would be too narrow of a thing to think about. So it is tastiness, but it's also yield slash danger. So yield slash danger is how much of the creature is edible, like how much do you get out of this creature, and also how hard is this to get. You know, if one creature is an absolute nightmare to kill and you only get to eat a tiny portion, that's pretty bad, right? But if it's really easy to get a hold of and all of it's edible and shit like that, that's the best case scenario, right? Then we also have ease of prep. So how easy is this ingredient to work with, right? I feel like it depends. Like either side of the scale could be good, you know? So it could be this ingredient is like the pork of this world where you can do fucking anything to it and it's still good. You can mince it, you can cook it, you can boil it, you can broil it, you can baste it, fucking roast it, whatever, and it still tastes good. That's great. But it could also be like fugu or you know, like a puffer fish, where it's like you got to be skilled to actually even cook this thing, right? So it's a nightmare to even use it. But if it's worth it, if it like tastes amazing after that, then yeah, it's good. It's good. But if it's like a nightmare to make and then it tastes like shit, that's not good. Okay, so that's the scale. Tastiness, yield or danger of acquiring the ingredients, and ease of preparation. That's what we're going by. So immediately off the bat, again, this thing, poison, right? But I would say the legs might be edible. The legs might be edible. But the yield compared to the body size, if you're thinking like how big this thing is, and you can just use the legs, it's not that worth it, but it's also giant. Like this thing's pretty huge. So the legs are quite a lot of meat. But then how do they taste? What do you guys think this thing tastes? Shit. What do you guys think this thing tastes like? Smash. You can eat it with enough prep. Yeah, I feel like you'd have to boil the shit out of these just to like kill all the germs and stuff like that. Right? Because you wouldn't want to get any weird infections or diseases off of this thing. Because this thing eats corpses, right? This thing eats corpses. So I feel like that taste would get imbued into the meat, right? So it would taste foul. It would have this sort of nasty smell. Like it's already smells like it's rotten from the get-go. You know, rotting. Yeah, so it ain't good either. I'm gonna put it in F because it's edible. You can eat it, but that doesn't mean it's good. That doesn't mean it's good. Nothing's really going for it except for the yield, I guess. If you have to kill one of them anyway, then you got the legs, which is a lot of food, but it isn't a lot of good food. Okay. Then we got the third and final variant of these crabs, which is the, well, it's just named, oh, it was going to be called Ardentum lapis or something, which is the gemstone metallic version of this crab that has a fucking railgun as a claw. Again, ranged railgun weapon. Inedible. Again, S. No, not S. Look at it. You can't eat this thing. It's made out of metal. Wait, hold on. Is the inside meat? The inside's gotta be meat. I'm sorry. I'm thinking too narrowly about this. I feel like compared to the lava one, this one's definitely got meat inside. It's definitely got meat inside. S for shine. No, we're not judging it on appearance. We're judging it on taste. You know? So how hard is this thing to hunt? I would say honestly, it's not too bad. I feel like they would have some sort of predictable pattern that you can take advantage of. You know, if you can get them from behind, their main weapon is only pointing towards the front, you'd be pretty safe and be pretty fine, and then just, you know, be able to deal with them. So I don't think it'd be too hard to hunt these things down. No, you can't eat the shell. I'm sure you can't eat the shell. Also, I think what could be interesting is, because the thing is made out of metal, you could just light a fire under this thing, and have it cook itself on the inside, right? I feel like that would work because the shell's made out of metal, you know? But then, like, what does the inside taste like? What does the meat on this thing taste like? Because I'd say that's quite a bit of, I mean, the organs and stuff like that would make up a lot of this. But like, think about the claw, right? This front claw won't have much meat. It'd have like a bit here to control the under claw. But like this big thing in the back here, this was supposed to be its like trigger mechanism where it smashes the two things together. That would have like a big old muscle there to crack that thing down, which makes me feel like that would be some good meat. That would be some really good meat. It's very soupy. Yeah, I feel like you'll cook this thing over a fire, you'd crack it open, and then you just have a soup already, you know? Because like all the insides get cooked together and stuff like that. You could, holy shit, you could totally like get that claw out, right? Scoop out some of those crystals, and then just sort of throw potatoes, onions, and like other ingredients in there inside the creature already and just stir it around with the already existing crab meat and just use it as a cauldron. Right? I feel like that's a really interesting. So it's really easy to prep, right? Really easy to prep. Yield is also really good, you know? But the taste, what about the taste? I feel like there's definitely some metallicness to it, you know, that some people might not like. I'd say it's definitely metallic, especially if you cook it in the shell. I feel like even more metallic taste would come through it, but also it'd be really healthy because like you get your metals out of it, you know. I'd say that's a solid A. It's a solid A. You know, if you find one of these things and you hunt one down, that's a good fucking meal. You wouldn't be able to finish it by yourself, you know? And if you got some extra ingredients, you can make an awesome soup out of that thing. It's gonna taste a little metally, but I mean, you won't care. If the only thing you've had for like a while has been dried meats and stuff like that, you won't complain about a little metal in your meat, you know? I'm putting it in A. S electrolytes, yeah. Nah, I don't think S. I think the taste S. We got to think about S as being the utmost high like Wagyu beef. You know, this is the thing that the rich send mercenaries out. They pay people to get this thing, to eat it. You know, that's S tier, right? That's the Wagyu beef. This is only the rich and the pompous eat this shit, and they've made a monopoly around it or whatever, you know? Like that's how good it is. This thing is like it's great when you find it. It's really good when you find it, but it's not like people are actively hunting these things down because like, "Oh, I want to eat this thing," you know? It's an A. It's an A. A is very good, okay? A is still really good. So, let's go into some other things. Now we're done with those crabs. Next is this, which is the arrowhead clam. I was very obsessed with clams, crabs, and anything sea related back then. The arrowhead clam is interesting because it was used by a culture that was around the area where these clams were cultivated, and the shells. Again, I this is a common occurrence in my designs because I just like it a lot. Um, they they appear, or where they appeared was in a swamp that was the runoff of a mountain. So water would come down the mountain and basically erode away the metal content in the mountain and deposit it in the swamps. So the swamp water and runoff from the mountain was very rich in metals. And so these things were basically filter feeders. They they filtered and the water and sucked the iron and metal out of it to bolster their own shells. They would dig themselves into the sides of muddy banks and stuff like that, and do that. So their shells are really good. They're also poisonous. They got these stingers because what they do is they have paralyzing venom. So if they also eat creatures. If something steps into the swamp and stuff like that, these things would be waiting pretty much like landmines and launch these darts at you, right? These sensitive feelers sort of feeling the vibrations in the environment. And because they're all clumped up together, they would all like launch darts at you, and then you'd, collapse and be paralyzed. And then they would slowly suck out your blood, pretty much. They'd just drain you. But as you might be able to tell, the people of this region have found a roundabout of dealing with this thing. Basically, they have these really thick boots and pants that they wear made out of like multiple layers of leather to protect against the stings, so they can just casually walk around and sort of just pick these out of the ground and then make things out of them. So the shells they use to make armor and arrowheads. That's why they're called arrow clams. And their poisons are also used to tip arrows and make poisonous arrows that have paralyzing venom and stuff like that. Taste-wise, as you might be able to tell, I took inspiration from a gooey duck. If anybody knows, those giant clam things that you see on YouTube where every video is the same about them, where the YouTuber goes, ah, look at this thing, it looks so weird and phallic, and then they take a bite out of a non-prepared, just raw fucking gooey duck and go, ugh, so disgusting, I can't believe people eat this, and then, you know, but like, if you prepared it properly, I feel like it wouldn't be that bad. You know, I feel like it wouldn't be like as big as a gooey duck, so it'd have those properties of like a clam, an urchin, you know? It'd have some urchin properties, but also it would be irony as well, like metallic and irony, the same way that the lapis crab would be, you know? Uh Ooh, also, sometimes tiny little crabs appear in these oysters. So they have little crab friends inside that can also just be cooked whole and eaten. So I guess we could rate that as a rare treat. I'd say those are really good because it's basically just compacted flavor of crab in a D. What are you guys so harsh about? I wouldn't say it's that bad, but it's definitely not good either. I'd say the locals probably eat them just out of necessity. You know, how big are these? Well, if you look by the armor, for example, here, each one of these are an individual clam. So they're sort of like hand size. They're the size of your hand. I'd say like because the taste isn't as good. I'd say the taste isn't as good as this. But the ease of it's still easy to get them. It's still easy to collect them if you have the right tools. And it's, well, preparation as well, though. I feel like they'd be, because they got poison sacks, right? There's a poisonous sack here that you have to get rid of. So you gotta know how to do that. Otherwise, well, it'd be fine to eat it because it's venom, it's not poison. But still, you wouldn't want to have like a cut in your mouth or something like that. It wouldn't be too hard to cut it away either. It's not like like intertwined into the stuff. It's just a sack. You can just sort of cut it off, get rid of it, and then cook the rest. Yeah, you just cook it out. So I feel like I'd put it in a B. It's almost in a D, but it's a B. Okay? It's a B, but it's like, it's almost falling into D because I doubt anybody outside of that region where they harvest them would likely want to eat them, but they still do. It's all right. It's all right. Okay, next one. Same area as the clam. Same area. Big mouth. The big mouth boy is here. Okay. Also, you can see the Stephen Oakley inspirations with this one for sure. That's when I was still like really into his art. So first thing you might be able to tell, this thing's massive. That's a person compared to it. So these things are absolutely huge, which I would say makes them. I was also thinking they were very, very slippery. What that mouth do? Oh, well, the idea was that they jump out of the water and eat birds. So they launch themselves out of the water. So they eat things on the surface or flying above the surface. So they would hide under the water and then sort of jump their way out and eat things midair, right? That's why they have got like a big mouth. And they're also, I was thinking they would have this like slippery texture, gritty. Oh yeah, I feel like it'd be really tedious to clean these things. Hold on, let's go down the list. So, catching one would be hard. They would be slimy, they would be fast and very strong, and also massive. So if you don't have any like ranged weapon, it'd be pretty much impossible to do this by yourself. If you got like bows and you got like 2 or 3 friends with you, I'd say it's possible. I feel like you'd cock back an arrow or like have a spear, you'd throw one at it, it get upset and like sort of scuttle away. You'd have to chase it, maybe do that routine a few times until it tires out and stuff like that. Or like a harpoon with like a rope on it and you tie it to something, you could probably get it. So it's definitely harder to get this thing. Could you not just skewer it with a spear? I mean, you could, but I feel like it would notice you and be very skittish, sort of. Or maybe just try to eat you. Like a small whale. Yeah, yeah. Like you need a group, like a coordinated group, sort of, to try and get one of these down. And what do you get out of it? What do you get out of it? So preparation, I feel, wouldn't be too bad, but also would be kind of bad. The first of all, they're covered in mud and muck and slime, so it'd be very awful to clean them, especially because they're so big. They got folds and nooks and crannies absolutely everywhere. They're like pugs, you know. They got like the lumpy, droopy skin, so you just have to scrub it and clean the whole damn thing, which is gonna be a lot, like, very labor intensive. Um, and then I feel like, though I feel like the taste wouldn't be bad. It'd sort of be like eel. Skin it. Yeah, you could skin it. You could skin it, I guess. But I feel like it'd be like eel, you know? It'd sort of be like eel. The skin would be like rubbery and sort of chewy. So I don't think, yeah, I feel like skinning it might be the best way to go about it. But that would also be pretty tedious. Because I feel like if you look at it, I sort of feel like, no, actually, I feel like because the skin is like so flabby, it would probably like come off of the meat quite easily. You know, so I feel like you could separate it quite easily. Wouldn't be that hard, but just because it's a big thing, whoops, just because it's a big thing, it'd take a while. And the meat, I feel like, would taste like eel. I don't think there'd be any like muddiness or like dirty taste to it, because that's just, you know, it doesn't eat dirt, it doesn't consume dirt, it just covers itself in it. And if you remove the skin, that doesn't affect the meat much. It has a lot of fat, no? I feel like most of the fat would be in between the skin and the meat. So the meat itself would probably be quite, like, it's a muscular thing, it's really fucking strong. So I don't think there'd be much fat like interlaced within the muscle, but I feel like there'd be like a quite a layer of blubber in between the skin and the meat. So depending on how you want to cook it, you might be actually able to cook it like pork belly, sort of like fish pork belly. I feel like this thing would be like an in between mammal like meat and then fish like meat, because fish like meat sort of falls apart. You know, it's like it's softer and it falls apart, but pork like holds together. So like a frog kind of thing. Well, frogs don't have the fall apart meat, but yeah, some sort of in between, right? Gamey tastes like beef. Not gonna lie. No, I don't think gamey. I don't think gamey, right? Because like gamey makes me think of like, you know, deers and stuff like that would be gamey, but this thing's like a fish frog thing. You know, it would have that classic sort of like almost chicken taste, maybe that some people say snakes would have, perhaps, but also like an eel kind of like it'd be hard to describe because it I feel like it'd be like an in between of a few things, which might make it really interesting. So preparation, you could prepare it quite a few ways, I'd say, because it's just meat. I'd say it's pretty easily usable meat, almost as easy as pork. You know, you could grill it. I'd say people would probably mostly grill it, but you could as easily make a stew out of it. You know, the fat also is quite useful. You could cut the fat off, use it to, you know, use it as cooking fat as well. You could dry it with salt as well. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oily chicken. I feel, yeah, yeah. Some sort of like oily sort of chicken, fishy chicken taste might be the thing here. And also you get a ton of it. So I'd say I don't know. I was when I first popped it up, I was gonna say it was like a D, but like the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, yeah, this is actually like a really good, like, it if you only need like 3 people to hunt one, that might sound like a lot, but like look at how big the fucking thing is. That feeds like 10 people. You know, 3 people get to hunt one, and you can feed the community for like a while. You know, and whatever's left over, you can turn into other things and stuff like that. You can leather the skin probably as well. God, yeah, it really feels worth the effort, even though it's like you need a coordinated team. I feel like it's worth it. So, do we put it in an S? Because this feels to me like something you you can eat and not get sick of. You know, it doesn't have an offensive taste where you have to get used to it or something. You can enjoy it and just have like it. You know, S. I'd say S. I'd say this is our first S because like it's an all around really good. Like it might not be the next fucking um luxurious, you know, food that the wealthy would want to get their hands on, but it's so useful and so good for or so worth it that it's an S. Okay, next one. Um I'm not sure if this can be counted as a creature, but yeah, it has so many upsides. Okay. This is the rat. Uh so the the catacombs, the location where the location where the corpse like crab thing is found also has these things, which are damned people that people that are damned to the catacombs slowly turn into different creatures depending on their death, right? And so these are like the guardians of the catacombs. They roam the amazing catacombs like tight hallways and basically take up the whole hallway. Their idea is like they're a wall pretty much that if you're walking in a direction and they come at you, you can't go around them. You have to run the opposite way. And normally how you confront these is in pairs. So you'd normally get surrounded on both sides and have to deal with them, and they're not fun to deal with, as you might be able to tell. But the issue is, this isn't really a creature. This is a dude. This is just a guy. Very irony. I don't even know what the fuck's in the armor. What do you think is in the armor? I feel like it's just a corpse, like a rotting corpse. So, first of all, incredibly hard to get a hold of. They're massive. They're absolutely massive, and they're covered in armor and spikes. You wouldn't be planning to eat these things in the first place. The armor is bone. No, I feel like this is just a corpse in armor. So kind of rotten pork. No, just rotten. It's dead. It's a dead body. So I feel like this is very much just poison. I think this is just going into poison. I'm sorry for anybody who wishes to eat these things, but I'm saying it's just poison. This is just a dead body. Probably tastes like chicken. No, it's dead. It's just dead body. Okay. Here is an interesting one. I don't have a... I gotta click into this first and, like, take a screenshot of it. But this one is a creature that was, in a location called the City of Ash, which was a location of like way long ago when the Monster Garden was about creatures. It was a location that was overtaken by a fungus that, when inhaled, turned people to dust. So it just turned people into like dust when they inhaled this fungus. So the whole town basically became a dead town filled with dust, fungus dust. And then the lich that took over that town. So a lich caused this breakout of this fungus, like a fungal witch caused this breakout. And so now it had all this bio fungal dust to work with, and it used that to create different creatures. And what one of the creatures that the lich created were these two things. So these are made out of people's disintegrated body dust. So actually these would taste sort of like mushrooms, I think. I feel like they'd taste like mushroom. Like a weird insectoid crustacean mushroom. Yeah, but what I do think is that the texture would not be good. The texture wouldn't be good. The texture would be spongy or sort of gritty. Like, I feel like a lot of things would get mixed in that process, so you don't even know what these things like were made of, you know? Hunting would be, oh yeah. So the location, the city of Ash, basically became this sort of hunting ground for scavengers and adventurers and stuff like that. They eventually did figure out an antidote for the mushrooms. So what adventurers would do would there'd be these people that sell the potions that allow you to enter that location without getting turned into dust. So you'd buy those potions, drink them, and then go in for the time that you're immune to it to scavenge for riches and valuables and stuff like that. Because it's literally a whole town just abandoned by its people, right? So everything's still there. All the money, all the stuff that was in that town still there, just not the people. And it's been replaced by creatures and monsters made out of this dust. Um, so getting a hold of it, difficult, I'd say. Not too hard, but not easy. You have I guess you could say there's an investment fee, right? There's an investment fee where you have to pay for the potion to go into that location to get these things. And also, I don't think most people would want to eat the things. Yeah, okay. I'd say no. Just no, because preparation as well, you'd have to get all of the spores and fungus stuff out of these things, because otherwise you'd get turned into the fucking dust, right? So that'd be a risk to everybody who eats it. It'd be a nightmare to prepare, it'd be a nightmare to get, but it would be edible. Like, sort of, I feel like if you cooked it enough, it would be edible. And then it'd be spongy and sort of like dry, but grainy, and then sort of fungally, yeah, truffle, but like, I guess you could grate it over food, but I don't think it'd be worth it. I don't think it tastes good. I'm putting it in F. It's not inedible, but it's not good. Soup for rich people, like fucking shark fin, like they just maybe okay, maybe if you think about it this way, I feel like it's got that property where it's very spongy and not tasty, but it soaks up flavors really easily, maybe. So you could kill one, clean it up, then uh you would have to I think you could boil it over and over again to get that flavor out of it. Like I feel like it'd be bitter, right? Get that flavor out of it by boiling it over and over again and sort of rinsing it. And then you could put it in a soup or something and it will absorb those flavors. So that might be something for rich, like maybe some rich, yeah, D tier. I think D then, because you can do something to make it taste good, but it's not worth it. And also, it's not really the thing itself tasting good. It's just you making it not taste like anything and then adding different tastes to it. So it's not even, so you would just be having it for its texture, and its texture is spongy. So yeah, that's it. D tier, D tier. Okay, next we have uh fair enough, let's go. We let's tiptoe around cannibalism. Or what do you guys feel about eating humanoid things? These are my very, very old troll designs, troll redesigns I did for the Monster Garden. They're basically big monkeys. They're big monkeys or apes that have mammoth tusks, and they 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 eat or they sit around in mud baths and hot what are those called, hot springs, and and just chill and cover themselves in mud. So probably an F. I mean, on the difficulty of acquiring it alone, this is really hard to get a hold of because I don't think you'd be able to deal with this thing easily. And I mean, would you even want to eat it? Laios, fucking Dungeon Meshi dude, would probably want to eat it, but I don't feel like I'd want to eat this. You know? What do monkeys taste like? Hold on. I'm gonna search in Google what monkeys taste like. Because, you know, some tribes eat monkeys. What does monkey taste like? No, not money. Monkey. Faint herby taste. Like chicken. Yeah, but also like elephant. Hold on. What does elephant taste? A mix of beef and pork. No. I mean, like a herby mix of beef and pork? I mean, it'd be very pork-like. Yeah, I feel like it really depends on what part of it you're eating. I feel like the muscles and the legs would be really gamey and like tough. Cause like look at how big the fucking trunks or the trunks of these fucking dudes' legs are. You know, thick ass fucking legs. So I feel like those would be really tough and like not fun to eat. But like the belly or like the ribs or like the back muscles or ass, you know, their ass. Well, actually, no, their ass could be interesting. So I hate to say this, but I'm saying B. What do you guys think about B? Because they would be a complete nightmare to get a hold of. But if they're like a pork slash beef thing and you get a ton of it, and it'd be probably pretty easy to make into anything that you could do with pork or beef, you know? So, oh, and also think about this. Think about this. I was thinking these things would be like herbivores. You know, they'd be no omnivores. They eat meat, but also they eat a ton of berries, a ton of leaves and stuff like that. I feel like that would impart like a sort of herby kind of taste to them. Like it might be possible to just cook the meat on its own with some salt and still have it taste like kind of complex. You know? Maybe a B. Yeah, I say B. I say B. Or okay, but what do you think about this? Do you think some nobles would be nuts enough? Some nobles would be crazy enough to be like, I want to eat that big monkey, and then just hire a platoon of, of, you know, mercenaries to go hunt a troll for them to eat. Might be an A actually. I feel like yeah. Honestly, I feel, dude, this would taste really good. This would taste like really good, but it'd be really hard. But I feel like it's hard because no shit, it's a giant troll. S, we're going S. Fuck it. Let's eat big monkey. S it is. This is a delicacy. You'd be baffled to see this on the menu, and you wouldn't be complaining. You'd be like, oh my god, they got troll. Probably getting domesticated. I doubt it. I doubt they'd domesticate it. I feel like it'd lose some of the luster if you domesticated it. I feel like the wild nature of them would be a part of why they taste so good. You know? Okay, next. we have the filter snail, which is another filter feeder similar to the clam, and it's also in the same swamps as the clam, but they're normally a lot further downstream, like when the swamps sort of slowly turn into rivers that go through the countryside, and they normally hang out in mossy plains and stuff like that, and they just chill. They just chill in the water, and just sort of sit there and take in whatever comes down the river, comes down the stream. They filter the water, and then it comes out of the hole in their shell in and turns into fresh drinking water, which is very nice. They're also covered in moss and stuff, which just makes them cute, and they got little beards and noses. F for French. But I might be biased here. This might be a bias. You guys will have to convince me otherwise. I don't like snail. I don't think snail tastes good. I've tried snail. I hate it. It's gummy, like it's chewy and gummy, like it's like a chewing gum, but it doesn't even taste good. And I feel like this thing wouldn't, I like this front part wouldn't really be able to be used because it'd just be filters, which are sort of would be like really tough. Like it's not really meat, it's just filters, right? So a lot of this would just be taken up by filter organs, so you'd just be able to use like the back of the tail and some of the insides probably. So yeah, I don't like snails. F then. Okay, F it is. F. I feel bad because this thing looks cute and all. Or D. I'd say D because it wouldn't be hard. Like you'd be really easy to get them, but it wouldn't be good. Snail is great when stewed in a curry. D? Yeah, D. Okay. Good soup? Yeah, maybe. Maybe good for soup. They'd be really easy to get too. Damn. I feel bad putting it in D, but it just I don't find anything exciting about it, you know? Yeah, D is fair. D is fair. Okay. Yeah, but please don't spam Storm. Okay, next we have the frost mammoth, which uh that's not edible. I what too fast. I said something too fast. I feel like I mean there's some meat left and maybe it's been preserved cuz it's frozen, right? Probably not rotten. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. You'd lose a lot for sure. Yeah, like around here, you wouldn't want anything around here. You wouldn't want anything around the face. But like maybe on the inside of these legs, there might be some meat. But it'd be ice is not edible. No, the ice is edible for sure. The ice is edible. But everything else is like you know those countries where they just freeze meat and just shave off like bits of frozen fish and just eat that. I feel like it'd be like that. So, what does a mummy taste? What does a taste like? It's been dry aged for millennia. Yeah, this is a mammoth, or like whatever thing. Like this thing's been dry aged for a long time. Also, it'd be really hard to get because I don't think this thing would go down without a fight. I mean, look at the amount of weapons and blades and things that have been stuck in its tough skin. Like, how do you kill this thing even? I think it was something like it was reanimated, so I don't even know if you can kill this thing. They did eat mummies. Yeah, yeah, I know. Rotten bonus taste. Yeah, F. I feel like you could eat it. Some very select bits. It wouldn't be inedible, but it'd be horrible. It also tastes like a yeah, like a century egg, or something like that. F it is. Okay, now this one's Um, this was my attempt at making an illusion of a creature. So it was a creature from the early concepts of the Mana Core, which was supposed to be filled with basically optical illusions as creatures. And so, what would an I mean, it's a dog. So they eat dog, right? I, people eat dogs. So what does dog taste like? But it's not like, look at it. It's not rotten, right? You can see it. No, not poison. Not look at it. It's not rotten. This is like bright red. It'd be a little dirty, yeah, but it's not rotten, right? And also, I feel like the meat. You know what would be weird? Hold on. It's not poison, right? And also, you know what I think would be interesting? I feel like the meat would be phasing in and out of existence depending on its location or where it is in space. So think about, like, how the fuck would you? So it's like the meat is existing in multiple iterations of itself. So if, for example, if you put it on a grill and then move it to the left a little bit, I feel like it would sort of 4D itself into being in a raw state. So you would have to cook it on all 4D of its sides. and and then the issue is if you eat the shit and then if you move around, you would feel hungry in different places. So like if you're standing in one place, you might be full, and then you walk a few steps to your right, and you're hungry again because your stomach's empty. And then Schrodinger's meat, yeah, I feel like this would be really weird to eat, or even try to eat. It'd be impossible, pretty much. Also, yeah, how the fuck it'd be impossible to cook right. You wouldn't feel full depending on where you're standing. It's definitely S now. It's dog meat as well. Sweet, sour, salty, and bitter. Schrodinger's hunger. S for the feeling. I feel like, yeah, this is like a. It's S for just like, this is a once in a lifetime thing. Like, you're not eating this because you're hungry. You're eating this because you want to discover. You want to discover. Also, you might get cancer. I feel like this is incredibly radioactive. Like, this is not good. So it should be in poison, actually. Not because it's rotten, but because it's wrong. It's 4-dimensional meat. It can't be cooked. It can't be eaten properly. And it's very wrong. But it's an experience. The rich will go crazy over this. They'll be talking about this for days. It's like, oh, Martha, I ate this incredible meat the other day, and you wouldn't believe it. I took a bite, and it glitched into my eye socket. I can't see. And then, that's just like a once in a lifetime. Tumor side dish. Yeah, so it's S tier because it's impossible. Okay, next is, and this might be very interesting. Next is, oh, and no background as well. Look at this beautiful fucking thing. I'm still proud of this drawing, even though it's been so long ago. I fucking killed it with this drawing. This is the snapping dragon. It's a giant snapping turtle. That's pretty much it. It's a giant alligator, and or crocodile alligator. It's a giant alligator snapping turtle. That's literally like an alligator to a certain degree. That looks sick. Thank you very much. It also lives in the same location as these clams. As you might be able to tell, they have nuzzled themselves into the nooks and crannies on this creature. I gotta say, immediately, Monster Hunter vibes, yeah, this is a fucking S. This is an S. Because I can totally see the rich paying mercenaries to go out and hunt these things. And we know from historical evidence, turtles are tasty as fuck. Like, we almost hunted turtles to extinctions because they were so fucking good. People couldn't stop themselves from eating the damn things. And you're telling me this is a giant turtle? Just more of the same? Very much like the scale work. Thank you very much. Yes. So I feel S so easy. Instant S. And also you get the fucking clams. Like, you get some little clams with that as well. I mean, we've determined that the clams are just a B, but still, you get some clams. So yeah. Snapping Dragon, easy S. No contest. Free pot. Yeah, and also, like, you just get incredible value out of this. Like, even not considering the meat. This was, like, at the time where, like, inputs and outputs were a concept that I started to play with. Oh, also, hello, Monza. Should have looked at this when I was drawing the Ruska Razor. I mean, it's not crazy scale work. It's just like a crocodile, pretty much. But yeah, great value. I mean, this doesn't matter for the tier list, but these things are incredible inputs. Like, these spikes on its back are basically like funnels inside of each other, and they're incredible inputs. And these are incredible outputs that can be turned into, you know, actual inputs and outputs for mages to use. So it's worth for that, even. Now, we also have this. Giant shrimp dragon. Another very Monster Hunter-esque thing, because this was supposed to be in a location called the Cove, which was... I had a lot of locations back in the day, because basically I thought, okay, if we have interesting locations, that would in turn become interesting concepts for creatures. So the location is pretty much a above water coral reef. So it was supposed to be these cracks inside a cliff face that were filled to the brim with coral, and when the tide comes in, fish and stuff like that would fill up the creeks and cracks of this ravine filled with coral. But when the tide comes down, a lot of the sea creatures around that area have evolved to be amphibious. So fish would have legs, and some fish have turned like canine-like. They have like dogs. There was supposed to be a spearfish that basically is like a dog with a spearhead, and so it would swim in the water really well and spear things like a spearfish, but it can do the same on land as well. And this shrimp was supposed to be flying. I don't know how it flies, but it flies. Its abilities were going to be that it creates explosive bubbles. So it blows bubbles like those crabs do. Like, some types of crabs blow their bubbles so they stay moist or something. I don't remember what they use it for. But it blows bubbles, and then it uses its front claws to create a spark to ignite the bubbles. And how does this thing taste? I mean, again, I feel like this thing tastes incredible. This thing tastes absolutely incredible. It's got gas. I guess it's got gas. I don't know how it does that. This was before the magic system, so there were no rules on what was possible or not. It's a pistol shrimp, yeah. So, I mean, it's a giant lobster, giant flying lobster thing, so I feel like it'd be tasty as hell. But the main question, I guess, isn't the taste. The main question is the hassle worth the taste? Because I feel like these ones would be even worse to hunt than the snapping dragon. A, I think A as well, because like they're even worse to hunt. And also you don't get, because it was before the magic system, you technically don't get any inputs or outputs or other value from it. And also, I feel like something that would put it down is that it would be not good to preserve. Like, you'd sort of have to eat all of it at once. I don't think shrimp or lobster and stuff like that is easily preserved. So you'd have to just eat it, and the rest goes to waste if you don't. Oh, and also, yeah, if it's like filled with airbags, perhaps, you wouldn't even have that much meat to eat. maybe. Compared to its size, I feel like a lot of its insides might be empty because of gas and stuff like that. So yeah, A, it would be really tasty, but it's really hard. And rich people food. Yeah, rich people food. Okay. Next is the Whistler. This is another residence of the Mana Core. Uh, okay. Originally, this was people. So, cannibalism. This is people. And also cancer. Again. So, cancer, fourth dimensional. I'd say, like, the dog is an experience, but this is like a no. This is just no, because yeah, it's all the downsides of the dog without any of the tasty goodness that dog is, clearly. So I'd say poison, because you just die for nothing. And I don't think it's as glitchy as the dog either. Like, if you look at it, yeah, the mask is like, or the face is like, ooh, hovering, weird freakiness. But then the rest of the body is quite present, you know? So I don't feel like you'd get much out of it except for cancer and some sort of weird diseases. Yeah. So no. No to that. Okay, let me look for other creatures. So, there's, by the way, the more I look at this, there's a lot of creatures. Like, we have a fair amount of creatures, actually. So next we got this, which was a creature that was going to be in the giant dead corpse of a giant worm underground. So it was going to be there were giant caverns that are the dead body of a worm that are decomposing and growing fungal forests, and then these things would be jellyfish floating around. I dropped something. Hold on. Whoops. Oh shit. So these would be jellyfish floating around, and I called them barrels because I was thinking about it in the way of making it a D&D monster. So they had a mechanic around them, which is basically that they are the red barrel equivalent of a creature. They're the exploding creature. So they use electric shocks, so they can send electric like shocks to stun creatures around them before eating them. But if you put too much mana into these things, they fucking explode. So you can cast a spell on these to make them go boom. And if you look at them, there isn't any meat on these things. I mean, maybe in these, like, arms, there would be some meat, and, like, in here there's mostly organs and stuff, but they wouldn't be moving much. Besides these arms and the tendrils, there isn't much muscle necessary to move this thing. So there is not much meat to eat this. Which, I don't know. Is that worth it? Or is this little bit of meat on each of these legs worth killing one of these? So you'd get like really long strips of like crab meat or jellyfish meat. It's like a weird crab jellyfish, like, because it looks like a jellyfish. I mean, hold on. Do you think you could eat the translucent part? I feel like you could eat the translucent part, and it would be like jellyfish, like the membrane. Yeah. You could eat the membrane as well, but it'd be, I don't know, tasteless. I feel like it'd be tasteless. Like, it wouldn't have any taste. Yeah. I mean, but they wouldn't be too hard to hunt, I think, because like they only explode if you hit them with magic. If you heat them with magic, pretty much. So if you shot them with an arrow, they just deflate, and then they're just on the ground, and you can take them. So they're not that hard to hunt. Can you eat jellyfish? Yeah. People eat jellyfish. I've eaten jellyfish. It's all right. It's just sort of like a sort of chewy, like not as chewy as squid if you grill it, but it's like sort of chewy, like sort of bouncy jelly, pretty much. and it doesn't really have a taste. Besides, like they sort of season the fuck out of it because, well, it doesn't have a taste. So you just sort of taste the ingredients that come with it. Um, Tastes like a batter. Oh yeah, I feel like acidic. Yeah, it'd be pretty acidic though. That's why they hate you. Oh, ah, shit. Right, I haven't considered that. No, I tried it once. I didn't like. I'm not like. Do they know? Do they know? Did they get informed about that? They're out for you. No, I only ate it once. I tried it. Too much prep work? No, no, no. I don't think it'd be too much prep work. I don't think it'd be too much prep work. If you're planning on eating these things, I don't think it'd be too much because I don't, you wouldn't really need to cook it either. I feel like you could just eat it straight up. Like you could make like some sort of somtam out of it, you know, like a papaya salad or something, and have it be a part of that. Um, like it'd be able to be used in like quick dishes like that because you could just cut out a piece of this membrane, slice it, and then just there you go, you got it, right? They're floating in the air, so I don't think they'd need much cleanup. You know, you might want to wash it a little bit, like you always do with every food, but then that's it. Just cut it. There you go. Local. It's is the location easy to get to? No, not really. But you could. I feel like the membrane you could eat it raw, right? Compared to the things inside the legs, you might want to cook that. But like the membrane's raw. It might be a little acidic, but outside of that, it's flavorless. So you could use it. Maybe you could use it like a meaty lemon, pretty much. Like if your food requires some acidity, you could just use this instead of having a lemon in it, and then I don't know. I'm feeling A. Yeah, I'm actually yeah. I'm feeling A too. Because like even though it doesn't have a flavor, that's not the point of it really. You get like a fair amount of stuff really easy, and then you can just cook it together with some stuff and make it good. Rich people lemon. No, no, I don't think this is for rich people. This is like a I there's people going down into that location for other means anyway. So there's people there to hunt this thing. So it'd be a really easy bite to get. A nice texture. Yeah, I'd say like a sort of little bit chewy uh uh jelly like thing is a pretty nice texture. Eat it when you're there. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Next we have oh boy. Next we have this thing. Which I mean it's like a goat lion thing. Hunting it wouldn't be easy. Again, I feel like this thing wouldn't really just be standing around letting you hunt it. Goat is delicious, yeah. But like I feel like you'd get like I feel like this is gamey. Yeah, gamey. Really gamey? Wait, did I say that right? Did gamey. I'm just saying gamey. What? Gamey. No. How the fuck do you that it sounds wrong in my head now. How the fuck do you say that word? Gamey. I just messed myself up, I think. I don't is that right? This gammy? I'll just say gammy now, because for some reason Happy Pride, yeah. Woo, Happy Pride, but is that right? Gamey? For some reason, that word sounds wrong to me now. Anyway, but yeah, this is very much that word. Because it's very active, lots of movement. So I feel like its meat would also be really tough and like not much fat. I mean, look at it. It's literally this thing is fucking lean already. It barely has any fat at all in the arms here. You can see all the muscles, the striations and shit. This thing's tough, right? Tough, lean, Um, so it'd dry out really easily, so you'd have to like stew it or something. You could make jerky out of it, but like I don't know. It'd be really hard to get to. I feel like it'd be unpleasantly gamey. You know, not like the pleasant. It's unpleasant, like too much, too strong of a scent. Like it's pungent, pungent. I feel like pungent is the right word. It'd be pungent. I don't think it'd be worth it. I think it's a D, because it'd be, well, no, I F. What? I don't know. Like a D or an F. What do you think? D or an F? Because we have the mammoth here, which is basically a mummy. This is not as bad as a mummy. You can eat it, yeah. Stinky, yeah, but it's like really gamey, really pungent, and like lean and tough. And it'd be a nightmare to get from this thing, but it's not a mummy, right? So yeah, D. I'd say D. Okay, let's see. What else do we got? Okay, do we finally want to do it? The dwarves. Where do the dwarves land on the list of the tastiest creatures in the Monster Garden? It had to happen eventually. I was trying to hold it off, but I kept passing the dwarf file. So it had to it had to. What are we saying about the dwarf? S? Oh, come on. S. God damn it. Hey, look, okay, I don't want, I know you guys are really enthusiastic about eating dwarves, but I feel like we shouldn't be letting our preconceived notions or our desperation to get our grubby little hands on something blind us from the fact that this is a bug. This is bug. This is just a bug guy with like metal skin, right? So I don't know. Their skin would be leathery, you know. They'd be sort of metallic tasting as well. They I don't know. They'd got like the nasty bug insides and shit. Like, I don't even know if bugs have muscles. The thrill, though. The question is how metallic. Okay, I don't think that metallic, right? Because all the metal's in the skin. So the leathery parts, I mean, you could crisp them up nicely, I guess. I feel like you could get like a nice sear on that shit. Because it's not like bug flesh, you know? Like they got some meat, obviously. They got a belly and stuff. You could get a sear on it. I'd say you could get a sear on it. You could do some like pork belly shit with this, you know? Do they have bones? No, no, no bones. Well, some bones, sort of. Because like a lot of the musculature inside is attached to the inside of the shell, but like for example around here with the chest and stuff there has to be a structure there to attach the muscle to. So they do got some bones, but like their arms and stuff don't because the shell just holds it up. Shrimp is bug. I think they would taste like turkey. Turkey? Hmm. I can see it. I can see it, yeah. Sort of like turkey. There's nothing better than dwarf meat. I mean, okay, getting a hold of dwarf meat is probably the hardest out of this. Not because they are incredibly dangerous or they will kill you on sight or whatever. It's because it's a dwarf. They're a part of a society. If you kill a dwarf to get its meat, you're a criminal. You will be hunted down. Right? That's criminal. A coppery turkey. Yeah, like a coppery turkey with a skin on it that is maybe a little tough, but like, okay, the skin is like thick and leathery, but I feel like if you do like if you cut it like a checker pattern, You could totally have that work. So like each piece is like a bite-sized thing, and if you like cook it enough, I feel like it'd be the best thing I think you could do with this is smoke it. Smoke it or like anything that is like slow cooking it to make the skin like more edible or more fall aparty, right? Because I feel like there'd be some sort of thick skin, then like a layer of fat, then meat. So yeah, unique, tasty. Yeah, it'd be unique. It should for sure be unique. Dwarf in a blanket, yeah. You get free plates and pots out of it. True, but again, criminal. Criminal. Ah, I'm putting it in. If we're not thinking about the criminal part of it, if you somehow got a hold of a dwarf in an ethical way, A. It's A. S, no, it's A. It's A. I think it's A. There should be dwarf hunters. No, there should not be dwarf hunters. B? Hmm. I mean, yeah, because you'd be a criminal, so it's basically like cannibalism. Not like you're not eating your own species, but you're eating another sentient creature that has thoughts and things and stuff like. Well, the trolls are sort of in that category as well, but their culture isn't far enough for them to fucking get you into troll court or something like that, you know? So it's still fine. You can take advantage of the big monkeys. But the dwarves are. Hmm. Yeah, kind of weird to eat something that has a job and family. Maybe A is insane. Okay, B then. I mean, but like, okay, can we put dwarves on the same level as an easily found, easily eaten, but sort of all right dish? Simon the Troll Bigot? Oh god, I'm racist to trolls. A? No, that's unethical, bro. Yeah, that's I'm conflicted because it is very unethical. This is not okay, but are we really thinking about the ethics when we're talking about eating dwarves? Is that really what we're thinking about? Because if you get a chance to, if you're thinking about eating a dwarf, you've already made up your mind that you are breaking the law and doing it illegally, right? You've already made up your mind. So that's not a part of the factor because no normal, sane human in the world would be thinking about eating dwarves. So if you're thinking about eating dwarves, that is not something you're taking into consideration. You're not like, oh, but it's unethical. You just be like, I want to eat a dwarf. I know it's wrong. I don't give a shit. Hire some mercenaries, capture a dwarf, and then give it to me on a platter that is its own head. So are the redesigned no. We're not putting the fucking hatch folk on the list. Hatch folk are not going on the list. So yeah, okay, A or S. A or S. Because I'm saying we're not taking the unethical part of it into consideration. Because if you're gonna eat it, you're already in the wrong, right? So fuck it. A or S. I think it'd be good. It'd be pretty good. S. I see a lot of S's. Okay, fine. S it is. S to the dwarf. With a lot of consideration and a lot of uh ethics thrown out the window. and laws broken S. You won. Okay, now what else do we got left? Ooh. Yeah, we got some we got some left. Hold on, here. So we have we got this thing, which is called a Sacravale. This is a creature of the deep. It's a giant shark, basically. The giant long shark. Put Simon on the list. I would eat a verse soldier. Fucking please. The Sacravale is a giant shark thing, octopus, that snatches sailors from their ships and turns them into ghost ships. So, you know those legends where, like, ships just arrive at shore or, like, are empty and there's no people on the ship? This is why that happens. This is the creature that does that. Because the way it hunts is it basically attaches itself to the underside of a ship or appears on the outside of a ship and then just takes all the people out of it with its very nimble and adept tentacles and then just leaves the ship empty. Right? And are we... Okay. What are we thinking? Is this a fish... Is this a shark fin soup situation? Where... Whoops. For some fucking reason, they only eat the fin of this thing? Or are we saying... Are we saying, like... the thing is edible? It's shark. So is shark good? Shark tongue soup? Yeah, I mean the tongues would be really interesting, I think. You're basically getting two different, like very, very different textures out of it. You get the shark, and then you get the tendrils, which would be like its own thing. I feel like the tendrils are kind of squid-like. You know, they'd be like a meteor, not meteor, the things that fall from the sky. Meat ear squid. I feel like they'd be sort of like a tube. So if you cut it, you sort of get like rings. So you'd get like squid rings. What the fuck are squid rings called? Squid rings, you know? Squid rings. They'd sort of be like that. So you could deep fry those, right? You could deep fry those. I feel like they'd be chewy, but like calamari. Yeah. Like calamari, yeah. They'd be like a meaty squid sort of taste. So like gummy kind of thing. Little bit gummy, but if you fry it, it wouldn't be too chewy. Yeah. I feel like that'd be good. But what about the body? How does shark taste? I mean, it would just taste like shark. I feel like there wouldn't be, to the body, not much interesting happening, you know? It's not like a weird in-between. It's just a shark. Ammonia Well, that's not good. That's not good. Everybody, I think we might be... This might be a little disappointing, but apparently shark has a distinct ammonia flavor, unlike any other fish, she says. She says, I like the taste, and shark's cartilaginous, so it's easy to prepare, she added. You don't have to worry about the bones. Huh. Disgusting. Yeah. Ammonia-like? I don't think that's good. Piss meat. Yeah, piss meat. Do you want piss meat? How does the stranger... We'll add the stranger to the list later. Yeah, the tentacles I feel like will be good. The tentacles are good. The meat, not so much. The fins... I mean, okay, here's the thing. Yeah. We eat fin soup. But if you listen to people who actually tried the shit, it sucks. It's not like the fins don't taste like anything. It's the same situation as the it'd be the same situation as the which one was the spongy one? D. This one. They don't taste like anything. You just taste the soup. They're nothing. So I'd say D, also just because this thing, look how big it is. That's a person right there. You can't hunt this thing comfortably at all. And nobody would be considering hunting this thing for a few fins and some calamari. So I'd say a D. D is fair. Yeah, D is fair. Okay, let's see. What's next? We have this. The siphon. Yum! God, I can't wait to sink my teeth into that. So the siphon is... I used to have a cult in the world. The cult was basically in the catacombs, you know, the underground location with lots of dead people. The catacombs had basically a god or a demigod that was a false deity of rebirth in it, that was like a giant worm that roamed those mazing catacombs and ate anything in front of itself and then shat it back out in a different form, right? So it ate something and then it would shit it out in a reborn form. And that form kept twisting itself. So if you kept getting eaten multiple times, you would turn into some monstrosity. So what these things are is worshippers of this god that intentionally get themselves eaten to be turned more and more monstrous. So these were people. Cannibalism aside, I mean, I think it's far enough from people, right? Like, that's far. That's not close to people. Too much like mosquito. Yeah, it is very much mosquito-like. This thing is very unpleasant. I don't think this is good. I don't think it'd be inedible. It's not like you can't eat them. So it's not a poison, but you know, look at it. That's excuse me. Bone marrow. Yeah, it's like really bony. I mean, you could get some. No. I don't like mosquito, man. Tastes like iron. I don't think it tastes like iron. It's not like bug either, because it is muscle and bone, right? But I feel like you'd taste something wrong about it. There's definitely something wrong with it. Yeah, I feel like down with F. This is definitely an F. Or it's like it just feels wrong. It tastes wrong. I don't want to say that it's like, ooh, it's like pork or chicken or whatever. I don't think it's like any of those. If you ate it, I feel like you wouldn't be able to say what it's like. You'd just be like, no, and then spit it back out. It would probably taste like mummy. No, it wouldn't taste like death or something. I don't think it'd be that. But it would just be wrong. Yeah, okay. What next? Let's see. What else do we got? Ooh, this one's going to be a fun one. This is something called a book tick. It is a man-made creature. This is a summon, pretty much. It's not something that occurs naturally. It is created by humans. It's made out of paper and leather. The purpose of these things is that it no, hear me out. It's a living thing that it sucks the knowledge out of books and fills its abdomen with ink. So it sucks all of the ink out of a book and fills its abdomen with the knowledge of that book. And if you eat it with all the stuff inside, you gain the knowledge of that book. What does it taste like? Well, it tastes like ink. Like the ink that was on those pages. So it doesn't. And you don't have to eat the whole thing, by the way. You just have to eat the sack on the back. So not the leather or the fucking metal little studs or whatever. Just ink. This is purely for rich people. This is so if you're rich and you're too lazy to read a book, you can hire someone or pay somebody to make you one of these, have it suck up a book, and then you eat it and you get the knowledge of the book. It takes a little while after you eat it. You get a bit of a headache for quite a while as the words sort of have to work their way through your head. And also, you shouldn't eat too many of them at the same time, or not too many. Don't eat multiple at the same time at all. A long period of time between them is very much recommended, because if you eat two of them at the same time, the contents of the books mix together. So you would just gain knowledge of a jumble. So you would gain a mess of knowledge. It wouldn't, you just have your head full of garbage, right? Not worth it. So eat one, take your time digesting it, get used to the knowledge, and then eat the next one. They normally mix these in with cocktails and stuff like that to try and hopefully make the taste better. So normally they would be, mixed in with cocktails, or you would just get piss drunk before eating one of them. So you'd just be drinking, and then at the end of it, you'd be like, fuck it. And then just, and then, eat that. And also, I as you might be able to guess, depending on the size of the book that the bug consumes, the more ink you have to eat. So if the book's like really fucking huge, you're gonna have to eat a lot of ink. So what do you say? It's a rich people thing, but it isn't tasty at all. I'd say it's like, I don't know. It's expensive. It's not available to the common folk at all. It tastes like shit. It tastes like ink. It's ink, right? And we're rating things on tastiness. And so I'd say it's an F. Because even though it has like a really good use, which is like gaining the knowledge of the book. Oh, also, if it's like in a different language and stuff like that doesn't matter. You'll understand it anyway. Right? So it's like a really useful thing, but it's not a good food at all. So I'd say F, right? Because this is tastiness tier list, not usefulness. D, I like eating ink. What? Yeah, F. It's not poison, but it ain't pleasant. Okay, what next? I don't... Do I even have more? Hold on. I have this big poster with like a bunch of the creatures in the world. So, yeah. No, this is also a... Yeah. Hold on. We still need that one. And that's about it, actually. Hold on. Let me get that guy. This was... Oh! I almost forgot. Hold on. Let's get this one. Yeah. Get this one first. This is the Kakuka, which is basically like a woodland or like a forest spirit. As you might be able to see, I don't think most of it's edible. It's just wood. But what might be interesting, the Kakuka. Basically, it's a woodland sort of spirit thing that watches over the forest and tells you to plant trees. If you don't plant trees, it'll knock on your door. So the story basically goes, there's this one forest where every time somebody cuts down a tree, the next night you'll hear a knock at the door. And if you open it the next morning, you'll find just an acorn on the front doorstep, right? And what you're supposed to do is take that acorn and just plant it somewhere. That's it. It's just an acorn. So what you just pick it up, scoop a little hole somewhere, put the acorn in there, and close it. That's all you need to do, right? That's all it's asking for. But if you don't, and you keep cutting down trees, then however many trees you cut down, the next time it'll knock that many times. If you cut down 4 trees, it'll knock 4 times. And the next morning, you'll find 4 acorns on your front doorstep. Every time it knocks harder. And if you don't plant the acorns, and eventually it keeps knocking harder and harder at night until it finally pecks a hole through your door, then this little hand that it has in its mouth reaches through the hole in the door and makes its way through the hallways and rooms in your house, and then finally reaches its way into your mouth while you're sleeping, and you'll just become the next tree. Yeah, open up. It'll just put an acorn right down your throat, you know? So just plant trees, guys. That's as simple as it gets. Eco-terrorist. Yeah, this is eco-terrorist bird. So it uses a gnarly little weird hand thing to knock on your door until it pokes a hole in your door, and then it reaches its way in and makes you turn into a tree. I hit the tongue hat. Thank you. So most of it's wood, which means it's not edible. But, as you might be able to tell, it has mushrooms. And guess what those mushrooms are? They're chicken of the woods. And if anybody knows anything about mushrooms, chicken of the woods is really good. It's actually like a really good mushroom. It's called chicken of the woods because, well, as the name might imply, it's kind of like chicken. It's found. It's not found around here in Thailand. It's mostly in Europe, I think, or I don't know the places it grows, but it has the texture of sort of chicken. So if you cook it properly, it can pretty much be like a mushroom chicken substitute. You know, can confirm, tastes good. Yeah. But are we thinking? Does that mean the creature tastes good, or does that mean just chicken of the woods tastes good? Because it's not like it's unique to this creature. It just happens to be growing on this creature. I'd say we count it because otherwise that's not fun. But now let's think about this. This is a woodland spirit. So, like, S tier story, C tier food. Good point. Because, like, this is a woodland spirit. Do you really want to upset the woodland spirit? Like, Feywild-esque fucking thing? To get some mushrooms? You know, like the ones that you can just get off of normal trees are real hard to kill, though. I feel like it wouldn't be hard to kill it. Like, I feel like if you get to spot one and if you shoot it with an arrow, it'd die. You know? But that doesn't mean it won't come back. Like, it'll come to haunt you again. I feel like there's multiple of these, perhaps. Or something. Like, it's undying in some sense. It's not invincible. But you've definitely incurred the wrath of some greater being by fucking with their forest servants, you know? It's not worth it. For some chicken of the woods, you could just get on some fucking tree? I don't think it's worth it. Infinite food glitch? No. I don't think infinite. This is not infinite. Dude, I don't want fucking Oberon on my ass after I kill his pet bird or something. I think I refrain from this. It's not like it's edible, yeah, but it's definitely F. Like, don't incur the wrath of Fey spirits. That is not good. No, don't eat the wood bird. Okay, next. My voice. I'm losing. This thing. This was supposed to be what the following honestly. What did I do? Okay. Hold on, something's happening. Okay, this thing is a troll as well, but it was supposed to be like a different species of troll that lives in caves. So this one was supposed to be like a cave troll thing. And as you might be able to tell, it looks like a pig, which makes me think that it probably tastes sort of like a pig, you know? But again, um I don't know if you'd like to deal with that. Smash? No, no, that's not the tier list we're doing. It's for next time. We're doing a Jesus. I'm guessing going to eat that cow would probably have good nutrients in it. I mean, yeah, the cow is much more worth it than this thing. Herbie pork? Yeah, I feel like Herbie pork makes sense. I don't think this would have much of a. It would just be like simply just like a, yeah, Herbie pork thing. But the main problem would be getting it. So I feel like it's not as good as monkey troll meat, because monkey troll meat is like a very unique, interesting, complex flavor. This would just be like a more herby pork. So it's pork with extra steps of trying to kill this damn thing. So it would just, but pork is really good. So I'd say, yeah, like a B. I'd say like it's weighing the difficulty of acquiring it against how much you get it, how much you get, and how good it is. I think it's a B. As much as, but then like I look at the clam again because the clam's here. The clam's in B. So I don't know if it's on the same level as the clam. It's tastier than the clam, but it's harder to get than the clam. So I think it equals itself out. A for the clams? No, no. We've already established the clams don't taste that good. They're easy to get, but they're not that good. I'm cool with B. Okay. I'd say I'm cool with B too. We might want to change it, but I think B is good. I think that's everything. Besides, oh right, we have new fucking creatures. I completely forgot. Uh, we still got creatures. Hold on. We have the obviously we got the uh I'll just use this image of them. The healing bugs. Right? We have the healing bugs. Hold on. Yeah, we have the dust hog, the healing bugs, and the cannonball snail and the slag shell left. So healing bugs, I say no. Just no. Not poisonous. Not hard to acquire. There's a bunch of them, but they taste like shit. I feel like they'd be like cockroaches. It's like eating cockroaches. I don't want to eat a cockroach. Fireflies. Yeah, like it has that sort of like just bad F crunch. Yeah. And also like how much do you get out of it? Cuz these things are like extremely flat, you know? So like you wouldn't I don't know. I don't know. It's like a cockroach, yeah. D. Yeah, look, the thing is, okay, I'm thinking about it like it'd be not good at all. But if you're in the trenches, you're fucking dying and you have nothing else, then sure, you know, then you can survive off of these things. You'd regret you'd you know, have a shiver down your spine every time you need to think about it or think about eating one of them, but still it was a necessary thing to do. So I'd say, yeah, like a D. Survival food. It is purely survival. Okay, then we have the slag shell. Here he be. This is a earlier screenshot of the slag shell when the colors were different. I actually like these colors more than what I finally ended up with. Might kind of, or well, I established that the slag shells just have many colors, so we can play around with color as much as we want. But so, slag shell, I would say it's actually going to be at the same sort of level as the railgun one, you know, because they're sort of the same thing pretty much. I feel like this one would be a little harder to dispatch, but also I feel like the added bonus of this thing's got furnaces built into its back. So what I said in the video about them, you could, if you're fast enough, you could kill one of them and then just cut its meat and then put it in the furnaces on its back and just cook it with its own heat. Yeah, it could be like smoked lobster. I feel like, oh, you know what? You know what it is? It's like, this is, yeah, lobster, whatever. Or like, I mean, yeah, it's lobster, whatever. But like the meat around the forge, the meat around that heat source that has been just like sucking up that smoke and stuff like that has just been, oh, it's like the most flavorful fucking incredible, like deep richness. Like you have to dilute the shit to be able to perceive what the fuck is going on in that flavor overload. Yeah, I feel like something's going on around there. Like the insulation layers, I don't think are that, but like beyond that, like right on the outside of the insulation layer, I feel like it's gonna be something that's just magical, and it's big. It's big too. Yeah. So yeah, I think that pushes it up into S tier. It's its own cooking thing, right? It might be hard to hunt, sure, like it's really hard to kill the thing, but if you do, your soldiers will be weeping. They will be weeping with joy and happiness. Like this will be the best thing that not only they're eating in the trenches, but also probably in their whole life. This is like a spiritual experience. Yeah, so S tier. Dibs on the chimney meat. Yeah, that's definitely something they'll be fighting over. Okay, now let's do the cannonball snails. I don't have a screenshot of them, I don't think. So let me hold on. Let me find. Oh shit, the Kabrak is fuck, we got the Kabrak, the Warbore, and the right. Not we're not even close to done yet. Where the fuck's the cannonball snail? How am I having? Oh right, it's in the. I'm stupid. It's in the collab tab because it was a collab, so I have it here instead. Okay, so let me open this. Okay. Cannonball snail. Again, I'm not crazy about snails. Not crazy about snails. You know? So in the trenches, I feel like it'd be worth it. But like to hunt it, you'd have to shoot it. The shell would be too resistant to bullet. It's too fucking thick for a normal gun to really work on it. So you'd have to hit it in the body. And I feel like just instinctually reaction, if you hit it in the body, it would just launch itself into the sky, and you'd have to find it somewhere. And also, if you're hunting cannonball snails, there's a chance that you're incurring the wrath of a slag shell. There would be like a fair amount of meat in there, right? But I don't like snail. Yeah, and also just hunting it. Hunting it would not be fun. You'd have to shoot it and then find it, or if not, you run up to one to scare it, have it launch into the sky, and then you find that one again and scare it again over and over again until it runs out of mana, so it basically can't get away again. So basically like 2, maybe 3 times, and then you can just pick it up and just have it. So, I mean, I feel like though it would taste better than this. It's harder to get than this, but it tastes better. And I think if you like snails, and also if you're in the trenches, you wouldn't care either. So I feel like it's a B. It's a B. No, I don't think C. I don't think C, because it's not as horrible as this. Not as horrible as this. Definitely not as horrible as this. Not as hard as this to get. So I think C. Or I mean B. No, we don't have C, right? Forgot I eliminated the letter C. Okay, then we're still not done because we got other things as well. We got the well, let's do the most recent one actually. We got the where is it? We got the this the giant the dust hog. What do we think about the dust hog? I feel like it's just pork, right? It's like pork. S, because it wouldn't be hard to get it. That's for sure. I don't think it'd be hard to get. It wouldn't be hard to kill one of them. They're very. I feel like they'd be kind of passive about it. Um, they're domesticated as well. So they're basically just like a pig stand-in. They're like a pig. And so I feel like that's just S or A. Yeah, A cuz it's just pig. If I do it in S, I feel like that's yeah, it's just pig. A. And super milk. Yeah, oh right, the milk as well. Okay. Then we have the Kabrak. So the Kabrak, I'd say, is pretty much on the same level as pig, as the dust hog, because it's a domesticated creature. It's a cow. Again, it's just a cow, right? Long pig. No, not long. It's just a cow. It has milk. It's like a cow goat, right? It's more goat than cow, really. But it's still just a cow, pretty much. It has the same uses. So I'd say I also put it in A, right? It's not like a delicacy or anything. You can make it a delicacy by adding more expensive ingredients and higher quality kabrak, but that doesn't make it a all around S tier, right? Because it's just the most common thing available. Everybody would be able to get Kabrak meat, same as this. So I think A. Next, we have the war boar. I don't know where I stuck the war boar. Oh, right. I designed the war boar when I was not here, so it's not actually in my computer. Shit. And I deleted everything on the other one. Shit. Well, let me just take it from the video. Hold on. Let me find my video real quick. Here it is. Warboar. Angie pig. Yeah. I mean, okay. Harder to get. I don't think this thing would be most happy for you to try and take some meat off of it. Though you get a lot of it. Warboar meat would be a bit too tough, to be honest. Yeah, that too. I feel like B. Again, really hard to get. Or not really hard. Not too hard. If it's like an old dead one, or if it's like about to die anyway, wouldn't be harm to get some meat off of it, you know? It'd be really tough and stuff, though. I feel like a lot of blubber and stuff as well. You know, but that tough sort of fat as well, where it's like kind of chewy. Yeah, I feel like B as well, because it might be a little less pleasant than like the dust hog, but also you get a lot of it. So if it's like that kind of thing, I feel like you wouldn't kill one just for the sake of getting the meat, but if one happens to die next to you, like if you're in like a charge or something and your warboard dies, you wouldn't just leave it. You'd be like, well, I mean, at least let me get some cuts off of it, you know? Not have it go to waste. So it's still useful. It's just not the first thing you'd think about. Like, you wouldn't sacrifice it intentionally, be like, I'm gonna kill it because I'm hungry or something. You'd look for other things first. That'd be like the last resort if you're like in a desperate situation and your warboar is there. You'd be like, I'm gonna kill that thing and then take its meat. Okay, is that all of them? I think that's all of them. Besides, okay, let's just uh I'll uh, hold on. The stranger. Yeah, yeah, we're doing it. Okay, fine, fine. God damn. Okay, look. Let's see. So I'm gonna use the pain one, obviously, because I feel like that one's the most fitting. How tasty is the stranger? So I feel like this is a this is still going? Damn, hey, look, there's a lot of fucking creatures, alright? It's been 3 hours. You better be happy about this, alright? I got the energy for this. I feel like this is gonna be a sort of dwarf situation. No, 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 no S, no. This is a dwarf situation without the upsides. You're just cannibalizing somebody. It's just a person. It's just a person. And you're gonna go to prison. Or worse, expelled. Or whatever the fuck Hermione said. I don't know. But yeah, you're just cannibalizing somebody. Poison. Yeah, and he's stinky as well. He didn't shower. So he's pretty much poison. Let's just say poison. Because he's stinky and he doesn't shower. Look at his clothes. Musky fucking dude. Yeah. It's poison. Still S. Oh, fuck off. It's poison. Poison. Okay, next. What about the hatch folk? God damn. Let's get the hatch folk on screen. Let me get the most adorable image of them so you feel the worst. There. Look at them. Look at her. Hatch folk, I'd say poison. Because, again, you wouldn't get too much repercussion for eating one because nobody really cares about them like that. But I care about them. So, poison. They're stinky as well. So, and cannibalism. Again. Oh, yeah. Dinner. Eat. No. Yeah, I'm not gonna say they're S tier, alright? Fucking. No. No, no, no. Okay, now that's it. I think that is everything I have from the Monster Garden. Let's eat. I'm not edible. Well, I am edible, I guess. If you mean by, like, you can technically eat my flesh, but I don't recommend it. Jakob. No, no. We're done. We're done. No Jakob. No me. No. Mages. No. Those are just people. The rest are just people. These are also already people. We've crossed the line with these two, all right? Oh, and let me save this. Tier list. There you go. Actually, okay, let's look this over. Just to finish off the video, I'd say this is a decent spread. I'm quite happy that it seems like my world is filled with a decent spread of interesting, but also shit creatures. Witch hunters. No. No. Calm yourselves, you fiends. The rats, that's just a rat. They're just rats at that point. Just ask yourself what a rat tastes like. Would you like eating rats? That's it. I didn't invent rats. Good variety. Yeah, I think this is a good variety. And I enjoyed it very much, and I hope you enjoyed it too. I'm gonna go to sleep now, alright? So, I'm gonna post this list, like, on the Discord and, like, on Twitter, I guess. So if you want to share it, go ahead. But yeah, take care, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for the support, and don't eat people. That's the message of this video. Don't eat people, or dwarves, or rat people.